obviously love nutrition. I think Riley, yes, is particularly one that talks to me a lot about nutrition. Simone. These are going to be principles. It's important when you have ideas that you distill the execution of your ideas and application based off sound principles. A questionnaire to screen your clients, which some of you may have received already. How to fix all the recommended daily intakes without supplements. We're going to start with a food first based approach. So if you guys remember what an RDI is, top 7 all-time foods for superhuman powers, guaranteed. All right. So, distill these principles into a nice diagram. We have the goal. Let's start with the goal in mind, the outcome in mind. We have a diet change. You want to improve someone's diet. Well, what's that based on? On the left is your biggest lever. I know we talked about with Ben's presentation at the retreat, we talked a lot about the right, particularly the top right. Energy flux, which is another term for energy balance, but it's just more specific. Macronutrient balance. But before you even get there, you need adherence. For example, Jimena, do you have audio or writing right now to tell everybody what your current calories are?
Right now they're 2100 because I'm in maintenance, but for a week they were 1100.
I'm sorry, for a week they were what?
70. 1170.
1100. Only a week, but still, that's very
Yeah, I
low.
use like a very aggressive one.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how good that plan is if Jimena or Jai can't commit to their 1100 or 0 grams of fat, then it's largely irrelevant. And so I want to emphasize that while we're going to talk about the specificity of the right on the right side of this, that one of the most challenging and frustrating things can be if you don't get the left right, the psychology, the adherence, the habits, the nutritional literacy, the psychological relationship with food and self. That is the underpinning to making everything else on top work. That's why we emphasize so much around psychology here. Anybody know who this guy is? That's Brian Johnson. He's known as, very famous as this longevity guy, trying to live to 200, minimize aging by all costs. Did a blood transfusion with his son. Before we get here, like a lot of you guys, some of you guys and your clients, you'll be attracted by the biohacking. Before we get there, the optimal diet is something that food-focused approach is something to focus on right now. There's a lot of argument about what the optimal diet is. Before I get into it, what do you guys think the optimal diet is? And let's see if you can even realize the error in my question. Just like some general guides to like the optimal diet. Yes, Riley.
Specificity. I think that's the first thing you have to think about. Because someone's optimal for what they want is depending on their goal.
That's right. So let's just go principles then. Do you guys have any principles for the optimal diet? Because they can cross-relate different goals. Oh, I see comments coming up. That's cool. He no eat meat. Oh, he no eat meat. Correct. So do we think a plant-based or a meat-based diet is optimal?
Meat.
Why?
Well, he's just supplementing to basically get the nutrients that he needs because he's not eating it. I just don't think that's optimal.
Does anybody know how to straw man his argument? That means make a case for someone else's argument as if you were them. Did anyone do that? Or why you'd be on a majority plant-based diet? Plant fungi. No. Branson?
I mean, the first thing I thought of as far as the straw man argument would be like if there was something religious related, some sort of belief
Yeah.
around that.
Yeah. That's
Started.
That's fair. That's a very easy one. It's not that. Any other principles for optimal diet? Should we eat it in a calorie surplus, a calorie maintenance, a slight deficit? Oh, I see comments. Plant-based better digesting if you don't have any gut? Not necessarily. Yeah. Diversity of foods. Diversity is important for microbiome health. Autophagy. Can you define autophagy, Clem? I challenge you here.
Something about when the cells do something that makes you live longer.
Yeah. It's phagy means to eat. I remember my Latin because I'm 124th Latin. The cell, it's like the self-cleaning process. A cell self-cleaning process. Fasting, very dependent. Okay. I'm going to show you how you actually can begin to answer this question. But it depends on the lens which you answer it with. Longevity, muscle growth. Some of Brian's argument is a surplus of calories, particularly a higher intake of meat, can stimulate more mTOR growth, more mTOR, more IGF-1 pathway, which are also pathways associated with tumor growth, inflammation, etc. That is one argument you can make. So let's go through some principles. The point of these principles is they form the basis of how you begin to eat and how you begin to teach and educate your clients to consume food for the rest of their lives so they can ultimately be healthy. They can intercross the multiple levels of goals with longevity, with muscle growth, with sustainability, with nutrient sufficiency is a particularly big one here. So this is the overall approach that can apply to many different goals. Generally, where you can, for you and your clients, do your best to opt for grass-fed, organic, and wild-caught meat. And we can explain, and if you want to know why we go through each one of these, I can briefly explain. Large, diverse portions of plants and fungi. Like I said, diversity is important for microbiome health, for gut health. It's also important because you grab a wider spectrum of nutrients. You're just less likely to be nutrient deficient. Why do I say grass-fed, organic, and wild-caught? You can make two main arguments. Does anybody get who gets generally like wild or grass-fed food? Saad does, generally. Simone does. Nutrient dense. Only do for fats. Yeah. For meats, it seems to be more important than for vegetables and fruits, particularly vegetables and fruits with a skin and a shell on top. In Australia, you can do pretty well. In America, you want to definitely pay more, or in other Western countries, you definitely want to pay more attention to that. We think some fatty fish like salmon may have a greater nutrient density like omega-3s. How the animals are raised is actually quite significantly different for pasture-raised chickens, for example, cows and chickens on very small farms, if you care about that, which does influence the animal's quality. Hunter-gatherer tribes would eat 100 to 150 plant varieties each year. Western diets average 30. Most people just repeat the same foods over and over again. This is going to be a big contention, a big argument amongst some people who are particularly dogmatic, or not even dogmatic. Brian Johnson mostly eats plant-based, but he's created a diet that's optimal for himself based off his own biomarkers and health. If I was to generally speak across multiple different goals, predominantly meat diet is going to tick a lot of your boxes. From a nutrient density perspective, there are clearly some nutrients you cannot get from just plants, B12 being one of them. What you guys may not know is actually game meat is measurably healthier for you than muscle meat. We know this. There was a study out of Cambridge, and I saw this study, pulling it up now, that was on the differences in postprandial, means after eating, inflammatory response versus a modern versus traditional meat. Most of you and your clients eat traditional meat, right? This is modern. What's modern? We're talking about, I believe they used kangaroo here, which is quite specific to us, yes. And basically, long story short, they noticed the inflammatory response, TNF alpha, IL-6, these are inflammatory cytokines, was significantly higher 1 hour after Wagyu and not compared to kangaroo. So this is one study. You can dissect it if you'd like, but that's one mechanism that we studied that was interesting. It's like, the inflammatory pathways that contribute to disease and longevity and et cetera, et cetera. It seems to be better with a game caught meat. Cool. They're also much more environmentally and ethically sound. They're higher in protein generally. Anybody ever had venison? Like deer? Put my hand down. I have. Anybody? Yeah, Clem? Remember how much protein was in it per 100 grams? Can someone fact check for me? Very high. It's more than cow, more than chicken. It's very dense. Lower mercury fatty fish. Bigger fish have more mercury. Mercury is not something you want to consume too much of. Swordfish. A lot of Asian cultures have big fish, so you'll watch out for consistent consumption of that. Famously, Tony Robbins is known to have mercury poisoning, and it was from a lot of his sardine consumption. He consumed a ton of sardines and tuna. I think it was tuna. Eggs. Eggs is really hard to replace. Who doesn't eat eggs or eats not many eggs per week? Anybody? Kiara, you don't eat eggs. Who's Kiara? Kiara's face. No eggs?
I'm scared of them.
Oh no. What did the eggs do?
I can choke it down, but I can do like 3/4 of an egg. That's the furthest I've gone. I'm making progress. Or I can do the raw egg yolk in a drink. That's how I've made my way around it.
That's pretty good. That's better than that. All right.
Yeah.
Scared of eggs. Okay. Venison, yeah, 30 grams. That's a ton. Eggs will have a nutrient called, that's higher than most foods.
Biotin. Is it biotin?
It's not the one I'm referring to. I know you like your biotin. You actually left your biotin in Vietnam, by the way.
Did I really?
Someone did.
Shit.
The answer is exactly choline, which is a precursor also for acetylcholine, which is, if you guys remember, that central like chemical communicator. Really hard to get this without it. It's very important for every chemical. Let me rephrase that. Like action, movement, cognition. You guys know 10,000 hens per hectare? Yeah, it's garbage. It's garbage. The chickens are actually under pretty bad conditions with 10,000. Anybody heard of Honest Eggs in Melbourne? I don't know if anybody reacted because my head was up looking up the difference. I made a post that got semi-popular based off this. Someone can find it on my Instagram without distracting too much. That'd be great. This. Like the chickens are right next to each other, 10,000. 30 hens per hectare is what Honest Eggs have, and they're available in your supermarket at some of them. And they're the best quality chickens, particularly for those who don't consume chickens, for your clients who think because ethical reasons. It's basically guilt-free, ethical consumption of an incredibly nutrient-dense food where you don't have to kill. Seasonal eating, seasonal fruit and vegetable consumption. Eat nose to tail. That doesn't just eat the muscle meats, it means eat, chew on bone. Consume organ meats. Again, Asian cultures do this really well, or better than most. Slow cooked meats or bone broths. Who does this consistently or seasonally? Nice, Simone. Who did it? Kiara, cool. If you want nature's gut supplement, slow cooked meats and bone broths are going to be really helpful for that. If you guys remember from our last presentation, particularly because of the glycine, glutamine, and other means. You don't need much at all. 100 to 200 grams of beef liver per week rotated seasonally is going to be so incredibly nutrient dense you might start to fly. Kiara's boyfriend, Christian, famously... What did you say?
I was just about to say it. Well, you beat me to it.
Tell him from your perspective.
Oh, okay. Well, the video is funny too, that you're about to show, but we both started having liver at the same time, and we felt like we were on crack. Like we were just zooming all the time. It was incredible.
Imagine if you could make your clients feel that way. Oh, this is me. Here we go. Cocaine energy levels. So guys, if you want another reason to record your check-ins, is because there is no way you will be able to get someone to say this in a recorded, pre-recorded testimonial video. Hey, how was your experience with coaching with me? They're not going to say something like this.
It literally feels like I'm on cocaine. It's really weird.
I wouldn't know.
I've started eating liver every day, and I've started having all the supplements you prescribe and do.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate the quick response on that.
I know not all of you.
It literally feels like I'm on cocaine. It's really weird.
I wouldn't know.
I've started eating liver every day, and I've started having all the supplements you prescribe. And dude, today, yesterday, and a bit of the day before, I shit you not, Alex, I feel like I'm on cocaine. I have so much energy. It's unreal.
Crazy.
Like, I want to fight.
Wow.
I am like full
The man
flying.
is here. He came in at the right time.
Hey, credit.
How much?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Tell him, Christian.
No, I was gonna say like, how much heavier are you there?
Oh,
Here, I took out
this
my
point,
headphones.
like 25?
25 kilos.
million? Yeah.
Wow. Like a lot of Christian's a coach, by the way, guys. And a lot of credit to Christian because 136 weeks ago, he does not look like this now. He is really, him and Kiara, they're like my children. I love them dearly. They have transformed so much and so deeply over the years, Christian included. He's a little bit behind the scenes because he's not obviously as known by you guys. And a massive credit to him. I still have the pleasure of coaching him today. And he's still riding those cocaine energy levels, hopefully, still today.
Oh, still loving the liver, man. Far
Really?
out. Oh, yeah.
Thank you for the cameo appearance,
My G.
Machi.
Hope you all, guys.
All right, peace. So if that wasn't enough of a testimonial to start consuming organ meats or beef liver, I don't know what is. Who consumes a higher saturated fat diet? I'm talking about more fatty cuts of meat, steak, lamb, pork, butter. For our females, they might have a little bit more leeway here. With the fat content, that is, in general. There tends to be a general direction that the higher on average, the higher saturated fat content in a diet, the more inflammation, insulin resistance, and particularly if you have something called FTO gene, which I have. So it's just a gene. About 20-25% of people have it. Quarter of you in this room will have it. You have a high propensity for diabetes, obesity, and other similar health-related conditions if you consume a high saturated fat diet. Your body doesn't process that as effectively, and you may opt instead to have a higher polyunsaturated fat from things like fatty fish, like a Mediterranean diet. Rotate your food seasonally. Pre and probiotics most days if you don't have SIBO. Fermented foods if you don't have SIBO. Kimchi, sauerkraut. Resistant starch from green bananas. Or heated and cooled rice. Pre-meal digestive aids with your biggest meals. Apple cider vinegar and lemon are the most common. Ginger is something you'd always consume generally when you're at a Japanese restaurant. Something I always do. I can get my hands on it. Slow down, breathe, take a longer time between swallowing each bite, pre-meal gratitude, and here is what it looks like. So, before we get into the top 7 foods, here is the optimal eating framework. If you can get as many of your clients as possible in this direction, then you begin to build a framework for them they can sustain for most of their life. You give them an operating system. A lot of them are overwhelmed by not knowing what to do, and they want a system from you. They're going to pay you to give them answers and solutions and to help minimize overwhelm. Here is something you can use. And you should start doing it yourself as a coach. Because I don't really cook nowadays, I'm having beef liver capsules. If you want which supplements to get, they're in Zion. We give you recommendations. Anybody got any thoughts or anything they want to share on this? Any thoughts or questions? Yeah, Branson.
No, I really like the simplicity of it. Nutrition had been one of these things that I'd heard on lots of podcasts about getting frameworks for it that I'd kind of struggled with in the past. So definitely find this will help a lot.
Great.
For the language that I use right from the get-go is kind of the overview for it, for sure. And only critique I have straight away is that there's a typo for lifestyle. I think it's the first lifestyle, diversity and lifestyle, but otherwise it's all good. Looks really good.
One more time, you said on the last, what's the last sentence you just said on the lifestyle?
Oh, just the diversity and lifestyle. There's a typo for lifestyle.
Yeah. I'm me and GPT.
Chat.
I've got problems. So, by the way, quick question, guys. On Zion at the bottom, you can change the view. So there's a view button and you can change the way it looks. When I change it on my end, does it change on your end? No. Okay, good to know. So you can change it if you want a gallery or if you want to see my big face on your screen. I recommend it. Guys, I sent out, I know it was not that long ago, I sent out the questionnaire that you guys can ask your clients. I think Riley was the first person to do it. Good job, Riley. Who's actually gotten any results, even just from one client? Has anybody got anybody fill out the form? Yep. B, Riley. Cool. What's been some of the insights so far? I'll go Branson first.
There was a bunch of just rarely to zero sort of answers, at least when it came to the source quality, at least. The sort of main limiting factor for them is sort of the eating with family sides of things. So just being able to it comes like sort of I've said to Riley a little bit before, like the whole Italian sides of things, at least he's very enriched in that at home, and sort of breaking that sort of environment definitely is a big pivotal thing. For if he does it, he normally is buying food on the road at servos or that sort of stuff, so it's not necessarily great quality if he's getting it elsewhere, just from time constraints, that sort of stuff. So
what's your solution?
It's all happened very, very quickly with the answers and stuff. So that is a very good question. So I will probably get back to you on something around that.
All right. Cool. Good to identify it, Riley. Any patterns you're seeing? He's looking now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Some of my clients actually eat pretty solid. I had a few that really didn't have any of them, but just going through, actually, a lot of them, let's say 50-50, but probably 75% are hitting a fair few of them. And then there's 25% who aren't doing any of it.
Can you define a fair few? Or share your screen?
I can share my screen, 100%.
I'll put the link in there, guys, if you guys want to open that up.
Screen sharing is currently not available on desktop app. Please use web browser.
Yeah, you got to listen to it. All right. And guys, it's okay. I'm not going to accost you. Let me use the word. I'm not going to get upset at you if you haven't. I know I could have done it earlier. Who hasn't sent the form off and created the form with their clients just yet? Clem, Simone. Kiara, have you done it? Something be good for you to do too.
I haven't done that one, but I already do a version of it.
Version of it? Oh, okay, cool. Emma, have you done it? All right. Guys, I'm going to, in a consistent intention of me to create more practicality in these calls, even particularly with theoretical, oh, there you are. Hola. Even with more theoretical based sessions, presentations. Let's do this now. I'll put the link in the chat, and Riley, Branson, you guys send them off to the rest of your clients. If you know you've already sent them off to the rest of your clients, send me some of the results privately in my WhatsApp, and I'm going to review them and give you feedback now in the meantime. For the rest of you, I'm going to give you guys 9 minutes and 36 seconds to create that form and make it really easy to explain how to do it in the email I sent you yesterday, and also the document. If you need help, just message me. I'll give you guys 10 minutes now to create your nutrition screening form. And Kiara as well, you can send me some feedback on any of the clients that you're seeing, any of the obstacles that you guys are having with trying to get your clients to eat more nutritionally dense foods.
The biggest one for me, in my experience, has been the organ. So I have like a couple of solutions, which you get to later.
Yeah.
But it's hard, definitely.
Did you say you have solutions?
Yeah, but you already detail them later in the presentation.
Cool. Spoilers. So it's really just a copy and paste, where Simone, Clem, Jimena, just a copy and paste into your type form or your jot form. Check the email sent yesterday. And then sharing the link with your clients, copy and pasting the template, the message you can send them, which is right here. This fatigue is high, Branson. 7.
Definitely, we've done a fair bit more recently in the past month. A lot of like just auditing sort of his time and where he's spending that. There's a bunch like typical kind of like manager that's working like 60 hours a week, kind of consistently type of personality is like how that kind of manifesting at the moment. So
Working a lot, contributing.
So like a lot of big late meals, kind of eating what the family's eating, like late when he gets home, but then getting up, kind of just rushing to work.
Yep.
And stuff there. So we've only really, that's why it's interesting. I've only really dove into the nutrition with him the past probably couple weeks at least, just before the retreat.
There's a lot of good progress you can make with him, given you're just touching on nutrition now.
Yeah. And which I do want to say, absolute alley-oop with the way, I love the way you did the like formatting of this Typeform, like you just being able to just go, hey, copy, paste. Like I've been using Typeform for a bit, and just to see the ability to do that, like there's obviously other different mentors that try to have sales scripts or other things just to copy and paste, but like you know, that stuff is more making your own. But for something like this operationally, like I really like that stuff that I can just copy and paste like that, because it does make things obviously, yeah, the kudos to Typeform, kudos to obviously you doing this and implementing it, because yeah, it's super easy.
Thank you. I really appreciate that feedback. It really helps me understand what's effective for you guys. So thank you. Some of you keep that feedback inside of yourself because you think it's obvious. It's really helpful if you communicate it. So thank you, B. That's helpful. And insight, while you guys set that up, I actually found it to be one of the most popular lead magnets that I've done recently, which was insightful for me because I did not expect that. People are really wanting like resources that are tactical like this. Like sit through a 2-hour presentation, let me upgrade your skill set, kind of give you a tool and a form that solves a problem. That was insightful. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I think tactically something you can use for your market as well is something that Lockie Canada is doing quite well. Riley, you're someone else who's taken the initiative to do it. Is there anything from the forms and info that you've seen that you want to problem solve or share?
Check your email, Alex. I forwarded one of my submissions to you.
Legend.
It might say it's job form or something like that.
Yep, job form. Cool. See the comments I had seen. I got Simone just popping up with the beautiful view behind her, flexing on all of us. Really nice.
There's so many people at the beach. Like, it's actually insane.
It is, and it's so early, and they're out there.
There's like thousands.
There's not many
It's wild.
overweight people in Vietnam and Da Nang.
Nah.
Shout out.
But like, I just can't believe how many people are here.
Right.
It's wild. Love
Right.
it.
You guys got 4 minutes to finish your form. Send it off. I'm going to review this. Really? Okay. When someone says this, so let me show you how to use these forms. Let's say someone says, when is your main animal protein game meat? Sometimes, okay. It's not common for the average person. Then ask him, Riley. I want to see if he's talking cap.
I bet he's waffling. I bet he's waffling.
Right?
Bro ain't eating fucking prebiotic.
No, I mean the kangaroo.
Yeah, that well. I don't reckon he's eating like fermented foods either, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, so you just ask him, hey man, so what type of fermented foods you eating? Don't compliment it though, because people will feel like they have to give you an honest answer and they might lie.
I'll go through this and I'll explain why I sent it to him.
Great. Guys can send the presentations if you want as well of me. Slow cooked meats. All right, that's something you can definitely do. Best of Bone is the brand for bone broth. Understand that some people don't even know what saturated fat is, so it's a loaded question. Really? You use digestive aids. Have you communicated this to him?
But it doesn't make sense because if we go down the bottom, he says digestion's so good. So it's like, is he really using them? I don't know. Or is there something bigger at play?
They might not be working very well.
Potentially.
Have you coached him on this? Have you told him to take digestive aids?
No, never.
So this is good for you to know. You guys don't even realize that some of your clients are doing or not doing some of these things. Ask him definitely. Message him now. Okay, this is very important. I can get over oysters, I can get over liver, but if you're not consuming fatty fish, I'm calling an ambulance. Why did I put roasted or boiled? You guys realize why we put that? I could have just said potato. Think.
Could it be like takeaway fried chips?
Yes, brilliant, good. That was a very quick answer too. When you get fried chips, fried fries, when you get fries, most of it's batter. A lot of it is. tolerate any. I've fixed this question. It's not the same anymore. I've updated that. Calcium.
Alex, what do you want me to ask him? Like, I'll send a message now. What are the main things?
Ask him what you want to know. I would want. Don't you want to clarify like what digestive aids he's using? Do you want to clarify the game meat? And you definitely have some room to grow with him with his fatigue and his digestive discomfort. You can improve these two, like get to know what's happening here, when it's happening. If you can improve this, when you improve it, you can start to make a lot more holistic transformation with them. And what the hell does this mean? Buying them as in the money? I'll clarify this. I'm assuming the money. Is male gold... Tell me.
He's 17. He's young.
Oh, he's 17?
Yeah, he's young. He's doing a powerlifting comp, coaching him into it.
All right. So he's not probably going to give a fuck about inflammation. He's going to care, though, about everything to help his performance and get his physique better, I assume. So speak in his language. You have a client with autism? Riley.
Yes, sir.
You have a client with autism?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Well, so you know
like,
when yeah,
it's like she's functioning.
Okay.
Got a lot of health issues though. Not healthy. Yeah.
So I'm going to stop here. When we're on our coaching mastery calls on Tuesday, and I'm asking you guys, hey, what challenges are you going through? This is perfect. Complex PTSD and autism. Like that's not an easy mix. But we can help you with this. Oh, wow. It's all zeros.
Yeah, very picky eater.
Yeah. Okay.
Before we worked together, wouldn't even eat like I've got her eating like Coles Perform meals, and that's literally lives on that. Coles Perform meals, beef jerky, protein bars.
Okay. Do you have any recorded coaching calls with her?
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Great. Can you please, for our next conversation and call, can you please pick the best one that you think and share it with us on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll sort through.
A really great case study. I'd love to go through her case with you. All right. Anybody else got anything they want to share or ask before we move on?
Clem's got his hand raised at least.
Oh, thank you. It doesn't pop up always as obviously. So what up, Clem?
Nah, sorry, this hand was raised from years, like a while ago.
That's
so,
all right.
but thanks, Mason, but all good.
Oh, okay. So you're all good? Are you able to make the form okay?
Well, I had jot forms and that was just retarded, so I just made a whole new account on Typeform and just pasted it in. The AI sorted it out for me, so I'm getting that sorted now.
Beautiful. All right, good job. All right, let's keep moving. Autism comorbidities. Okay. Yeah, we can make this might sound strange, we can make an autism protocol if you want. Not that we can fix autism.
What about it though?
No, I'm saying we can. Amanda, why are you laughing?
Fine.
What you say?
Oh no, autism protocol sounds funny. I'm gonna give that to Jai. I love him when we joke around like that.
That's really funny. Don't worry about it now. Karen, just on request, I
Okay.
can give you context.
Okay.
Let's keep going. Now moving into the practical, more practical, how to fix your client's worst symptoms without supplements. One constraint to giving them supplements to help their health will be money and access, but particularly money. And there's a level of risk every time that you guide a client with supplements. You have to learn a lot of new things. It's generally easier for you as a coach to change food behaviors from the coaching perspective of how much information you need to know, but then you need to coach them with adherence to give them an easy strategy to consume foods more effortlessly. Where supplements, you don't need that. Just take a pill. So, I thought this would be, I found this along my studies. From the 1900s, this was some of the marketing that they had towards health. And I thought, maybe you guys would be curious to see this. Start with Billy Beans and make sure of looking and feeling your best in 1940. It's like some marketing some product by taking bile beans. Tapeworms. This is from the 1920s. So we're going to put this in the protocol. This is fat, the enemy that is shortening your life. No diets, no baths, no exercise, just tapeworms. Don't worry, they're sanitized. So we're going to be getting everybody on the tapeworm diet. They had, you know how you guys see a lot of trends nowadays? Like they had that back then too, in the 1900s. Yeah, vintage food posters. Cool. BRB getting water or BRB getting tapeworms? I hope you laughed. Guys, we're going to be utilizing the nutrition tracker in this. If for some reason yours isn't working or it's not accessible in your drive, let me know. Please message me now because we're going to be utilizing that. You all have access to it now, just like you all have access to all the modules in Trinity. Our goal will be to get as close as possible to ticking these boxes. Please note, in your nutrition tracker right now, in its iteration, your bottom three, iodine, molybdenum, chromium, aren't being measured. It's normal. Same with biotin. The rest do. Now, guys, can anybody tell me what an RDI is?
It's a recommended daily intake, and it's supposed to meet the need of 50% of the population or 97% of the population.
97.
Yeah.
97.
And EAR, it's 50, right?
Brilliant. Yes, very good. This. So, super nerds in a lab studied in an average general population how much of a micronutrient do we need for 50% of the population to have adequate levels. Okay. AKA, this is the matrix. RDIs, EAR, like think of it like basic. Like this is the minimum standard. You're in the matrix now. If you're not hitting bare minimums, you have a very low hanging fruit with your clients that you can start to improve their life and ward off a lot of big problems. That's why you have your nutrition tracker. So you have your EAR, estimated average requirements, 50% of the population to have adequate levels to not have a deficiency. To avoid disease and malnutrition. That's the key. It's to avoid acute, and prevent malnutrition. Then we go 2 standard deviations up, 97% of the population, 97.5, recommended daily intake. That'll cover 97% of the population. Why do we have these 2? Because the EAR, sometimes you only know that from certain nutrients. That's all we know. We don't have more data. The RDI is better because we just have more data. Why is this important to you? How do you know how much of a supplement or a food to give somebody? How do you know? We use these as markers. This is in Trinity, in Zion, so I'm not going to go over the details of it. You have more information in Zion. Is to prevent easily observable, obvious disease and deficiency. But we want to do a lot more than that, don't we? I think diagrams are really cool. That might be like a very nerd thing to say. That's fine. Like, I think they're cool. I get dopamine from them. This is one of them. What's the upper limit? What's the upper limit? You guys need to know the upper limit. I don't want to hear somebody emailing me saying, your Trinity coach, I'm not going to say who, my client ended up in hospital. Then I got a lawsuit. Then I got to use a couple of lawyers. I don't want that smoke. You got to know what an upper limit is. What is it?
It's a limit where if you pass that threshold, you get a possible negative outcome.
We're going to clean that up. Does anybody else know? You're in the right direction, absolutely, Jimena, but just want to clean up that language. Oops. Anybody else? Here we go. That's better. So look how big the difference is between this. In this example, 1 gram, 2.5 grams. The upper limit is the intake likely to pose no adverse health effects in the general population. Highest average, you should write this down so you can remember it. Okay? So let's say, give me a nutrient that you want to know the upper limit for. If you don't explode and go to hospital and get sued and go to jail. Probably not going to happen, don't worry. Simone, give me a nutrient.
B12.
Okay, B12 has no upper limit.
Not a water soluble.
Yeah.
Omega-3. Cod liver oil.
Well, cod liver oil has vitamin A in it. Omega-3 I also doesn't have, I don't think it has an upper limit. Kiara can fact check me there.
Maybe do B6 then. B6 is
Beautiful.
It has one.
Yes, because we don't want neurological symptoms. So,
3,000. Oh,
no, actually, no, that's good. Tell us, Kiara. That's perfect.
3,000 milligrams a day of EPA and DHA from supplements.
That's their upper limit?
Yeah. From supplements, though, so I don't know about food.
Yeah, we generally can do a lot more than that.
Total intake from both food and supplements should not exceed 5 grams.
Yeah. I think they're going to be citing. You guys know what happens when you can take a lot of omega-3s? They think that it can affect your blood clotting, even though the evidence is mixed. Omega-3s isn't the best one. B6s, though, is great because, Clem, you're taking B6. Some of your clients will take B6 to help with their slug-like symptoms, as Kiara has referenced, and PMS symptoms even. So the upper limit on B6 is?
I think it's 200 milligrams.
Someone find out for me?
Or 100 milligrams per day.
100? Right. So
Yeah.
that's you, Clem, you're taking how much?
I ordered a supplement. It's still coming in, but it's 100. It has 100 mg per serve.
Cool.
So that's
Clem,
why I was a bit concerned.
Cool. That's okay to be concerned. Consider you on the green line here. You're on the edge of it. It's okay to be on the edge of it. Just be wary. Can we go above it? Yes, but very intentionally, very carefully. You got to know what happens once you exceed that. There is a vitamin B6 module within Zion where you can see commonly in research and in practice, we will do more than this. I have educated clients on more than this, but you should know the side effects and the benefits. 200, 300, 400 milligrams temporarily, acutely, not long term. So, coming back to this, the upper limit is important to know because it's where risk is. Number one of your goals as a coach is do no harm. The highest average daily intake of a nutrient, likely, see, it's very specific wording, likely to pose no adverse health effects in the average population. An athlete who's 6'5", male, jacked, will have a different upper limit. Most likely. Did you understand how this is based on the average and that you can exceed or lower it and still see symptoms? A very petite woman who's quite small, maybe Simone, right? Not that petite, but just a smaller body may have a lower upper limit. So I've spent 10 minutes here because this is where risk is. This is where I don't want to put the fear of God into you. It doesn't really happen. But if you want to accidentally harm somebody or on purpose, play with this. It's like doing breath work until the edge and then Riley nearly fainted. Yes, Riley, you remember that? Yes, you do. If I have you and Akshan in the same retreat, God damn it.
Felt kind of good.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Guys, guess.
That feeling was nice.
What do you say?
Of like nearly passing out kind of feels good. It's a nice feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, Clem's on it. It's a very euphoric feeling.
Clem gets me.
Guys, Kiara can't guess because she knows. Can you please guess 7 foods that solve 80% of the deficiencies? Just start to guess some foods. Guess the top 7. Oh, I'm seeing more of your comments now. They don't pop up on my screen. You should have. I have to click a button. Red meat. White rabbit. What type of red meat? Mangoes. That's very specific. Oysters. Who else hasn't guessed? Clem. Simone. Oh, Simone, you guessed. You can guess more than one. Some of you have got a couple of these. Think more. Go deeper. Deeper. That's funny. Branson got the jokes. That's good, White Rabbit. That's very good. You're the first one to guess that. All right. Let me show you. Beef liver. What's the point of this? Guide your clients with education and practical to get them in this direction, whether it's supplement form or food-based form. Food-based form is first because it's more sustainable and cheaper generally, but then and less risk, and then we can go supplement form. So again, one of the goals here is so that you can be a really great health coach who's effective. You need tools. What tools do you use? You have certain foods that can do a lot. It's like a really big hammer, a really strong tool that has a lot of leverage. Beef liver is one of them, or organ meats in general. We have rich in many nutrients, vitamin A, copper, B12, and iron. Beef liver is highest in copper. So if you're taking a high amount of zinc and you're worried about copper being low, I often combine some type of organ meat like beef liver, especially in myself. I'm taking zinc most days. I make sure I take my organ meats as well to not drop my copper too low. Clem, copper intake increasing for you based on your bloods is important. So what I want you to do, I'm coaching you right now, is can you either get, damn it, I'll show you in a second. Can you get a beef liver supplement or beef liver mince mix?
I'll just buy beef liver and eat that. I'm okay with that.
Oh man, that's an uncommon response. That's a great response though.
It's not even that bad. You just gotta not be a shit cook.
You know what? That's actually a really good video. Do you know how I made the video that's got like 100,000 views of how to make sardines taste good?
Yeah.
The one you repurposed in a really nice way. I need to still share that. You can make one the same for beef liver. I have a goal for you. Can you make content? Can you make one of your next pieces of content or just a piece of content, how to make beef liver taste good?
Yeah, it's subjective though, because I don't mind the taste anyways. But yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Do
We
you
have
have to
different
because
Yeah.
so real quick, like do you have to separate that copper intake from the zinc timing or not?
With food
Yeah,
or supplements?
both.
You have like if you're consuming beef liver and you're having a zinc supplement, I don't have evidence that you need to necessarily separate them away from each other because your food matrix, the food itself will have multiple nutrients in it. And so that's fine. And if it's beef liver and a zinc supplement, I don't have evidence that you need to separate it. And commonly we can get copper and zinc based supplements together. It's what happens when you have too much of one being absorbed. It can reduce the absorption. No, it can reduce the amount of another. I've just put in some. I'll send you guys this presentation. We've done some math here on how much you need per week to hit your RDIs or just exceed them. So you need only 59 grams a week of beef liver. It's a very small amount. It's like this, kind of like this much, a palm worth to hit that. B12, it's very rich in B12, which is important for energy production, fatigue, about 30 grams. So think about how much red meat you need to actually hit this. You guys don't know. I'm going to show you. A caution, you've hit the upper limit with 30 grams of beef liver a day. It's a very small amount, and you've hit your upper limit. This was vitamin A, by the way. And vitamin A is something you want to be cautious about, particularly we think maybe in women that are pregnant. So be mindful of guiding women that are pregnant with high vitamin A intake. Kiara, can you please look up some symptoms of vitamin A toxicity, just so they can be aware? Remember.
Nausea, vomiting, headache, dizziness, blurred vision, irritability,
Nausea, blurred vision are going to be more specific and common.
headache. Yeah, it's more like organ damage and stuff that you want to be worried about.
Yeah, long term.
Yeah.
Question for you guys. Actually, there's a feature in here. I can ask you guys a question. I can do it anonymously. Okay. Is liver high in iron? How much, don't write yet, how much beef liver you need to hit iron? Okay, answer. Oh. Live Q&A. Oh, that's asked a question.
I thought it was going to be anonymous.
Okay, you have to tick the box, ask anonymously. It's the question mark in the bottom of your screen that says Q&A. All right. Can you guys please put in the answer to this question and ignore Kiara's? Great, anonymous, that works. No, you need heaps. Okay, what else do we think? Is liver high in iron? How much beef liver do you need? Okay, Riley, if you comment within, it's not anonymous. Nope, 300 grams. Okay, come on, more. Not as much as spleen. Correct. I can give you that. All right, couple more. Aha, I like that. I got a yes. Cool. I don't know who said it. I like that a lot. You can actually be braver now. Is braver? Well, you can take a risk more. All right. The answer is you need, male, needs nearly a kilo of beef liver. A female needs 2 kilos of beef liver to hit their RDI in iron, because women's RDI in iron is about double males, 18 milligrams. So you need a ton. Ain't nobody eating this much beef liver, even if you liver king. So now you know that beef liver is not very effective for iron intake, but you think it is because it's touted as such a nutrient-dense food, and it is for B12, for copper, for vitamin A, but not for iron. Now, iron is the most common nutrient deficiency in the world. I just saw someone's bloods. It was Mauricio's brother. He had bad iron levels. His brother was depressed, down, real low T guy. And we thought it was testosterone. Now, if Jai's watching this back, it wasn't. It was his iron. If you give me a second, I can show you a real case of what happens when we fix someone's iron levels. Anybody got any questions or thoughts or feelings or complaints? Pablo, not Pablo Escobar, Pablo Amador. Mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration, low. Very low. It's outside the range. MCH, it's not red, but look at it. It's right borderline. It's way out of optimal. We want more than that. Sorry, you don't know what this is. Actually, I'm not going to. Hemoglobin, important for carrying oxygen around the body, inside your red blood cells. This is the concentration, the average size of the hemoglobin itself. Let's just go down. I'm just going to get to because you need to look at that in conjunction with iron. And when we go down to iron, keep going. See, testosterone, it's fine. It's not a red flag, right? So it's not is B12's low. I know active B12 is higher here. I know that. But I do still see that when we improve serum B12, I see this anecdotally when I work with clients and patients, that when we improve B12 serum, even though it's not the best marker, I see improvement in symptoms. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to raise B12. So Mauricio, when you're watching this back, let's get some organ meats in your boy. Vitamin D, very low, especially coming into winter. We're doing 5,000 IU. Look at this iron panel. Anytime I'm seeing red, yeah, it's not good. So ferritin, the liver's storage form of iron. Serum iron floating around. Transferrin, it's the boats that float around the body that transport iron. And the saturation is how filled those boats are with iron. Okay? Two things here. This can be related to copper and iron, mainly. So these are very low. So his liver's making enough boats because what's going to happen is when you have an iron deficiency, your actual liver will signal to your body, we need more iron. We need more iron. What are you doing? Why do you suck at consuming food? Right? It's going to actually say that to you. And it says that to you by telling your liver, hey, liver, can you make more boats, please? Okay. Why make more boats? Because the boats transport iron. And when you don't have enough iron in consuming enough iron, then your liver's going to tell your body, well, we need more iron. We're starving for iron. So he's going to, okay, we need more boats. We need more boats. But the boats are empty. The boats are empty. What happened to the motherfucking boats? Your liver will also curse as well. This is the language of your liver. Liver's upset. So his iron's really low here. Consumption's low. B12 is low. What do? Well, let's give Pablo Escobar some more iron so we can go about his drug dealing business more effectively. And so that's what we did. And Mauricio guided his brother to consume, I think it was organ meat supplement or beef spleen or something like that. And within weeks, his brother started improving symptoms. Like he had more life to him. This is, to give you context, this is a level of, if you ever see this level of problematic iron panel, this person's not having a good time in their life. Like this person will clearly show symptoms. Jimena actually is somebody who I've seen iron levels, I think even lower than this Jimena.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when we first started working together.
Yeah.
We've improved that since. So this is a candidate for not just organ meats, the faster ramp approach for this level of deficiency will be a supplement. Once we use the supplement to get them up to sufficiency or optimal, then we can use food to maintain them. Food will be a slower approach. And big symptom improvement already in the first few weeks, which is great because, you get a lot of buy-in with the client when you do that. So shout out to Pablo. Oh, really? You're gonna have to. Kiara, can you explain very briefly what that sentence means? Now I can understand.
So traditional Chinese medicine uses organs on a clock and also attaches particular emotions to organs too, to as an indication of stagnation or inflammation and stuff like that. And so the organ of anger is the liver. So that's why I said that, because you said that your liver's angry.
All right. Hi, it's Mel. Not Mel. The practical for your clients that I've used many times is this. Just get them to type this in, or you type it in while you're on a call. That's it. Just look up beef liver mince in their local town and get them to buy it, and they can get it delivered. They can cook it up, bolognese it, put some spices in it, whatever. You're trying to create a sustainable strategy within a food that they already consume. Most people consume beef mince. Well, if we just use a mix of mince that already has 10, 15, 20% liver in there, lamb or cow liver, then we can make some progress on improving their health. It's really low-hanging fruit. Has anybody done this? Yeah, Simone, how did it go?
I think I put too much beef liver and I could really taste it.
Oh, you manually did it.
Yeah, like grated it in.
Ooh, that'll happen.
Yeah. But
Good for you for doing
maybe
it
like a
custom. What about your
beef
clients?
liver, maybe like a powder I should do or something.
I used to.
My
I used to do that.
clients, no,
You haven't done it with your clients?
no.
Is there room to?
Potentially like a powder, I feel like they would do. I just feel like people, I don't know, won't do this.
Don't say no for your client. You know, you're the coach, you're the authority. If the doctor says to take the medicine, then you take the medicine. Like, you're the authority, Simone. If you make a compelling case why someone should consume beef liver, oysters, or salmon, then that's up to you to make that compelling case, to help them. And if they
Yeah,
are really
I think
resistant,
a powder would be good.
the powder,
Yeah,
anybody tried the powder? Very strong.
is it?
Yeah, very strong. It's,
Oh.
I just did it because that's me. I put it in my smoothies, and the entire smoothie was now beef liver taste. But some people like Clem, like, don't mind, and you don't realize, oh, you don't mind. So, got to give it a go. Cycle it in and out is the practical I'll tell you to do. Remember, there's a lot more copper here in these meats. So if they're not consuming enough zinc, we might drop zinc. I'm showing you how many RDIs now you can hit if you do this every week. So the average person might consume 250 grams of mince cooked in a day. Male at least, maybe females a bit less. You'll get about 30 grams of beef liver. On the left, I'm showing you all the RDIs that you're hitting with one action. Hey, client, can you just start making some, instead of making beef bolognese, do you think you can get a beef liver bolognese? You'll barely be able to taste it. This is what I tell my clients. If you just spice it up, tomato sauce, like you won't really be able to taste it. And if you do, just pick one that has less beef liver. If you hate it again, we'll just get you a supplement. So that's where I go, Sim. On the right is we're getting like halfway there. So you tick so many boxes at once without them needing to spend $1 on supplements. If you would like to price yourself out of coaching, here's what you do. Or reduce your attention. Get your client to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on supplements because it's convenient and easy for you. Soon, after a few months, they'll run out of money. Not run out of money, they'll have a lot less money to spend on you because you've turned $100 of coaching into $150 of coaching a week, $200 of coaching a week because you asked them to get all these supplements. If you would like to minimize the chance of that happening, food. They already buy food. They're just changing the types of foods they buy. If you do a protocol with Dave O'Brien, shout out to Dave, great man, expect a bill of at least $1,000 of supplements. Simone knows. I know. Not that sustainable
In
for
like
many.
2000. I feel like it was like 2000.
Really?
Yeah.
That's heavy. That's heavy. Now I'm showing you what happens if you have zero food and you just add in 200 grams of beef liver. On the left, you can see the things in green. Now, on the right, we plus beef liver and 2 kilograms of beef mince. And you can start to see, oh, look, all I'm eating is beef liver mince. And I've ticked like maybe that's 20, 30% of my RDIs. So you can see how, that's why I'm starting with this, because it's such a big lever to pull. I will personally rotate and consume some type of organ meat supplement for the rest of my life. Because I'm not doing the mince. It's just not feasible right now with just my life. But some of your clients who eat every meal at home, they can do this. This is what we've ticked so far. RDI check, just having beef liver mince, this is where we're at. We're trying to tick all these RDIs. Where are we at? Orange is halfway there. Green is the tick. This is where we're at. Any questions, thoughts so far?
Oh yeah, I asked in the chat. We take mainly beef liver because that ticks off all the like not many boxes instead of beef spleen, right? Because beef spleen is better for iron levels, right?
Yeah. Beef spleen is very specific. It's great for if I'm wanting to improve iron. I will do beef liver when I want a more holistic approach.
Okay, easy. Thank you.
But Kiara, do you mind checking? This is actually something I haven't checked. Can you please do a side-by-side comparison of 100 grams? Do this. I want a side-by-side comparison of beef liver versus beef spleen, but people aren't eating beef spleen. We'd want to do a supplement. I just want a nutrient comparison. Maybe GPT. Thank you. With I like the reframe for supplements and coaching. Thank you, Branson. Where's that tablet for magnesium come into this? Oh,
Just on the RDI,
yes.
I've got the tablet there.
Yes. That means that you're going to need to supplement. You're not going to hit optimal. I'm going to phrase this. Majority of people aren't going to hit magnesium optimal levels with food. Magnesium is another supplement that I would classify as S tier lifetime supplement. You got an answer, Kiara?
Yeah. This is about the spleen and liver.
Yeah. Tell us.
So the differences.
Uh-oh. What did I do?
She's gone.
Oh.
Okay, you're
Did
back.
you?
Sorry.
Wait,
I made you a moderator
hear
and
me?
sorry, go on. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. Which part did you hear?
Reset from the top.
Okay. So spleen is only higher in iron, CoQ10, and taurine, but for the rest of the nutrients, liver is higher.
Okay, great. So my answer was right, Jimena. Beef spleen, iron, like CoQ10 and whatever else you said. Like we're gonna taurine. Like we're gonna need supplemental forms of that to actually have a therapeutic dose. So we're all good, Jimena. Now, some of you may know I'm not just GI Saad. I'm oyster.
Oyster King.
Thank you. Certified. Certified. This is what we're working with. Oysters next to beef liver are right up there. Practicality to take away from this is 4 oysters per day over 3 days. You buy a dozen from the market or you get them delivered and you have 4 oysters, 4 oysters, 4 oysters, not all in one hit. Why am I telling you not to have them all in one hit? Why don't we just consume 2 kilos of beef liver and then just not eat for the rest of the week? I'll just inject calories into you.
Because you can just absorb up until a certain point.
Yes, that's right. You hit a threshold. You hit a threshold where absorption capacity starts to decrease. You're consuming. I have a video I'm going to release where I consumed, I don't know, it was my record. I think nearly 30 oysters in like 4 minutes. If you do the math on that, it's a ridiculous amount of zinc. I'm not absorbing all of that zinc. Your body downregulates absorption to avoid toxicity. If someone has a zinc deficiency and you're trying to improve someone's health by consuming more, hey, a dozen oysters a week. Okay, I had a dozen oysters in one hit once a week. Congratulations, you've done very little. You spent $23 thinking you were doing something good for yourself, and you are, but because you didn't instruct them or educate them properly, they're not going to get the most out of it. So, disperse it. There is a very strong case and argument. Is zinc meat? Should vegans and plant-based consumers, can they eat oysters?
I've heard an argument from one of my vegan people that they don't have a nervous system, so therefore they're not counted as an animal, I guess.
Okay. That's right. She does, doesn't she? So for the most nutrient dense, or one of the most nutrient deficient populations, plant-based and vegans, which Kiara does coach as well right now, oysters, you can make an argument for them to consume. They don't have a nervous system, and we don't even think they feel pain. They don't have any centralized brain, which obviously is part of the nervous system. And so that's really helpful for you if you consume people. Consume people. Don't consume people. If you coach people who are plant-based, you can hit a lot of B12 here, which is great. And B12, remember, is something which our plant-based people are not going to be really hitting. It is the most richest source of zinc of any food. Tasmanian oysters are the best, I've found. Highest quality, cleanest waters. Now you should trust me because I am the oyster.
Amy.
Thank you. Thank you, baby. Is that a cult? When you like speak out loud and you get your people to finish your sentence for you? That's a cult, isn't it? Shit. All right. Kiara helped me out with this one. This is how to not die from oysters. Now, when I consumed 30 oysters, I exceeded the zinc upper limit. But I'm still here. It's acute. It's one time. You can easily consume a dozen oysters in one hit and be fine, 20, 30 and be fine. It's what happens when you do that every day. But most of you aren't doing it every day. The point of this is the post I made recently from the market is on the left. What's on the right? What am I quoting you here? Where does $50 a dozen come from?
I was going to say that's what people perceive it as. That's what it actually is.
You go to a restaurant on the right, and this is where people consider oysters a delicacy. But really, oysters are like the most primitive form of food you can eat. And this is actually a good marketing lesson. It's the same food, and it's double the price in a restaurant. I'm in South Melbourne. I go to South Melbourne Market. I walk 2 minutes down the road to a nice restaurant, and the same oysters are double. Let me make another point. You're a coach in Melbourne, in Moe. We know a guy in Moe. His name's Clem, and you're charging on average $80 a week. Then you go to the UK, and your name's Tyler Frost, Totem Strength. And do you want to know the average starting coaching price for a PT session is? In his specific area, I don't remember where in the UK he is.
$30.
$170. You want more money? Move. You want cheaper oysters? Go to the market. New York City, same thing. It's like, I'm asking, like, what's the standard? It's like 150, 160, 200. Cool. Yeah, price of living's higher, but your wallet's bigger too. And if you want to show people, oh, I can't afford oysters, you know what you do? No, you don't slap them you don't throw oysters at them and slap them with a fish across the face. You just show them this post. You say, hey, Karen, you know how you go to Starbucks and get that coffee? Yeah. And then that's it. Passive aggressive coaching, that's the way. No, it's not. We kill B12 with oysters. Now we're here. See the zinc's on here? Now we've hit this many RDIs. Cool. So we have beef liver and we have zinc. If you can't, you can do canned oysters from the supermarket. And if you can't do that, so it goes oysters, canned oysters, and then it goes zinc supplement. Guys, with all the traveling and all the situation of me going from place to place, us, I should say, we don't have oysters in our house right now. We'll get them where we can, but we don't have oysters in our house. So zinc, 25 milligrams, stays on most days for me with organ meats. Any questions about zinc? We're about to. Are we? Great. Who's on fire today? Is it me? Am I on fire? I hope I'm on fire. Love.
Yeah, you're doing well.
Thank you. That's really
Slap
good feedback.
people with fish and I like it.
All right. Any questions about oysters?
I know like that it's preferably to eat them like raw, but what's the difference between having them raw in and in canned,
Yeah.
like smoked?
I actually haven't been able to find the nutrient difference. I haven't seen canned oysters zinc levels on the back. All I can say is it's better than not having them. It's better than not having them. So if they can't do fresh, you can get them to cook them in like a mix. You can cook oysters, by the way. You just put them with like a casserole or a dish. Can't do that? Do canned. I don't have the answer, Jimena, of how much zinc is in them. Maybe Kiara, you can find out. It's a question I've always wanted to know.
Thank you.
Next is sardines and salmon. Nutrients are on the left. Sardines is the next column. We're just going to do sardines first, and we can see that you're hitting calcium. How are you hitting calcium with sardines? Does anybody know?
Bones.
Yes, and bones are mostly made up of calcium, including your bones. So when I need more calcium, I'm going to eat. You can eat your bones. I was going to say, I'm going to eat your bones. I'm not going to eat your bones. They're not nutrient dense enough. You can eat your bones, or you can eat bones from sardines. They're the tiny little thin ones. You know how people like are scared of bones because they're scared they're going to choke because they're very fragile human beings? You'll be fine. Please don't choke though. Bones are actually really good for you. Eat the ends of chicken bones, eat the cartilage, eat the bones, eat nose to tail. You can also see phosphorus. That's the second densest mineral within bone. Calcium, phosphorus. Ignore vitamin D. You're not going to get enough of it from food. B12 very high. Selenium very high. On the next in the orange is salmon. The biggest thing for salmon will be, it's not even filled out right now, omega-3s. Almost no calcium, but it is very high in B12 as well. So it's this combination of sardines and salmon, which is why I'm showing a side-by-side comparison. If you would like to know how to make sardines taste good, what do they do, Clem?
I'm taking the shit right now, but they're good.
All right. It's Chef SOS in the house, baby.
Can you hear that sound? Laughing at myself. All right, sorry, I'm not going to look at the comments. Anyway, I think the comments are quite funny. Sardines. That's how they make taste good. But you need a few cans a week. Does anybody eat sardines right now? Nice. Do you know how much they cost, guys? They are, by far, the cheapest, highest, most nutrient-dense food. Like $1 and you can get 20 grams of protein. I don't know where you can get 20 grams of protein anywhere else. It is the most nutrient-dense food with the highest protein that I've ever seen. It's actually very impressive. What you want to hit is 3 servings of 200 grams per week of salmon or 5 cans per week of sardines. I recommend you all try to start to consume sardines now. It doesn't even matter if you don't like them. At least as a coach, as a health professional who wants superhuman powers, they only take like a minute to eat out of the can. The homie Brandon Carter has a can every morning. Now we're here. Next, eggs. The biggest nutrient-dense source of eggs will be choline and selenium. You need about 15 eggs a week, but the average NPC only eats 5 eggs per week. That's statistics, that's research. It said average NPC study 2012. Could you guys put in the comments how many eggs per week you guys eat? You don't have to do it anonymous, just general comments. Deficit and surplus will change this. I think I consume egg whites do not count. Why do egg whites not count? Why do we need the yolk? That's right. That's right. You eat 18 to 21 per week, Branson. That's great. You guys see how many eggs Benjamin ate at the retreat? In one sitting? It's okay. Kiara, did you say a whole can of canned oysters has 247 milligrams of zinc?
Yeah, that's what the website said from the university medical thing.
That's quite good. None.
University of Rochester.
Yep. All right. You guys, you want to try and balance the fat consumption from a macronutrient perspective with your body composition goals. Also, Riley, how many eggs do you eat? Body composition goals, while also considering the nutrient density. A general rule, if you can just try and find your way there, is try and at least have 1 to 2 a day. You can mix it with mince. It's also a binder. You can have it a million ways, but that's one easy way to do it. You can combine it with rice, and you're going to get a nutrient that is really hard to get from most other places, and that's choline. Skip that. The next is potato. We're now coming to the less nutrient-dense foods, but they're still nutrient-dense enough where we have some important minerals. Potato is actually, I know that says 16%, but the milligrams, that's actually a decent amount. That's like a half a liter to a liter of coconut water you can get your potassium worth in 200 grams of sweet potato per day. So if you take something away, think potassium and potatoes are quite good. You should remember from our past presentations the importance of potassium for muscular contractions, for energy. How much potato do you guys consume per day? Put in the comments. On average. Yeah. So if you're trying to lower your fat intake, we're going to give you some options. 1 a day, not a day, or a week. I think that's a week.
No, I think that's a week, sorry. It's 2 kilos a week then. I think.
Oh, that's
good. How much I buy.
Yep. Particularly good for putting around your training for extra carbs, nearly 1 kilo a day. That's a lot. You should start a potato farm. Low carb spuds. Low carb spuds from Worse are a hack if you're in a deficit. You mean like a whole roast chicken, Riley?
Lower my fats has been tough. So I'm eating 3 grams of protein per kilo, and then I'm like just filling it with carbs. So I'm just like literally eating chicken and sweet potato, and then just like cereal, and like just like low fat Greek yogurt.
Okay.
You can barely eat anything. If you try to literally, if you have one meal with like a little bit of fats, it just cooks you. Because all like the trace fats add up as well.
Right. So I want you to start adding in some sardines and some type of liver combination mix. And we definitely need to, you continue doing your omega-3s. What we can also add in there is fruit. Big heavy hitters from here. I know spinach isn't a fruit. It's both here. Fruit, vegetables, and fungi. I recommend you all to add at least 1 kiwi per day. Kiwi is one of the highest foods for vitamin C. It's also been studied to help sleep, falling asleep faster, maintaining deep sleep. You need at least 2 kiwis. Also is important for which gut symptom?
Constipation.
Constipation, correct. Adding in 50 grams of spinach per day for all of you is really important for vitamin K. If you want to minimize the oxalates in it, oxalates bind to other minerals and can affect absorption capacity of other minerals. You can saute them and cook them. Oxalates also form the basis of kidney stones. Like there's a correlation between kidney stones and oxalate consumption. And so people who consume high amounts of raw vegetables, we tend to see an association. So adding in and educating your clients, you can make this into a post. 2 kiwis a day, 50 grams of spinach. And Kiara, if you can put in the comments some benefits of improving vitamin K, that'd be good. Now we're here. Riley, you need to stop booking yourself back to back or I'm going to literally self-combust. Like I'm going to disappear. Like at the next retreat, I won't even be there. Where's Saad?
I'm sorry.
He's self-combusted. Why? It was Riley.
Minutes later.
What'd you say?
I moved him to 15 minutes later, but it's like I'm trying to be efficient here, you know, trying to block everything out so it's not like finishing at the end of the day. And I'm like, got sessions. I know it's only, I could move him like maybe another 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But,
that's a good idea. The next is pork. I don't eat pork because they're the worst. They're the animals that are the worst ethically raised animals on Earth. But they do have decent nutrients in some ways and add good variety with B1 and selenium. Then we have calcium. Calcium is very important for our females, particularly our females who are menopausal, perimenopausal in their 30s and 40s or 50s, and for minimizing osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and bone fracture risk. I don't imagine anybody here consumes bone meal, do they? Or tofu? Yeah, Kiara, what do you do?
I have a bone meal supplement.
You do?
Yeah.
That's great. How often do you consume that?
Maybe like on my low dairy days, but I do a pretty good job at hitting calcium.
That is really great. Do you have any, actually, from the female health side, do you want to speak on, do you remember the calcium's role, PMS?
Yeah. So calcium is really great at reducing PMS. So, and also like I've never met a woman who actually has enough calcium. It's so hard to get. So you need to be like really intentional about it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I've also seen people. You can also do crushed eggshell powder. You can make it at home pretty easily. Or pearl, I've seen as well.
Yeah, pearl powder. Yep. Actual pearls from the sea, guys. It's quite cool. So, the RDI for calcium in females is this one will be easy to remember. Say again?
1,000 milligrams.
Males is 1,000, females is slightly higher. It should be about 1.3.
1.2.
1.2, 1.3, yeah. Just slightly. Females require a little bit more. Females require a lot, even more than that when they're older. So, adding in tofu, adding in bone meal is really cheap and inexpensive to do. Just remember, try and aim for 1 gram. PMS symptoms is a really big improvement in symptoms that you can get from calcium. That's great. That's a good symptom improvement. Clients will love you more. They'll give you more money. Yay. You can get 1 teaspoon. We've done the math right here. 1 teaspoon of bone meal will give you nearly the entire day ticked. That's amazing. That's really good because a lot of you guys are doing yogurt, whey protein. A lot of you guys don't know there's a little bit of calcium in whey protein because of whey is a derivative from dairy. So you get a little bit, but think about it. Like you're trying to go for 1 gram. We got 140 milligrams. You got some, by the way, that amount of yogurt, I'm pretty sure that's 100 grams of yogurt. Cow's milk as well, goat milk, cow's milk. All right, so you've got maybe 500-600 milligrams, but most of you, your calcium intake is not good. It sucks. Cheese too, but cheese is mixed. So adding in tofu, bone meal, for people in a surplus, you can push up the goat milk and the lactose-free milk or the raw milk if you can stomach it. Any thoughts or questions around calcium? Or my jacket?
I said your jacket was cool before at the start.
You did?
I don't think you saw me. Yeah.
Thank you, Clem. You know, it's actually Danielle's.
No worries. Even better.
Yeah, we share. I might have missed the comment. Here, where are we? Okay, great. We're at the end, by the way, guys, if you haven't realized. We're at the end. This is now what it looks like all in one. We have hit, and I've added in some extras, by the way, okay? I've added avocado. I've added mushrooms. I've added oats. This right here is how to hit all your RDIs in less than 2,000 calories. It's very impressive. Less than 2,000 calories, we've hit all your RDIs. It requires a great deal of due diligence and awareness, but you don't need any supplements here. Oh, we have dried apricot as well. You don't need any supplements here. So if you want to know what the optimal diet is, the argument we're making is to hit the RDIs. Minimum. I'm not saying they're the be-all and end-all and they're the best. I'm saying to not have trash nutrient deficiencies. This is per week, by the way, not per day. You're not consuming 2 kilos of beef per day. Now, hold you guys to a higher standard. Let's be like I have a ton of supplements that I consume, like Brian Johnson. Like Brian Johnson consumes like 50 supplements, 40 supplements a day based on his bloods. I consume quite a bit too to make up for some of these that I'm just not consistently getting for whatever feasibility issue. I'm going to tell you guys to take supplements and eat nutritionally, then I better be doing that shit. So what I want to hold you guys to is a greater standard. Walk the walk. Look, Clem, I'm not trying to just pick on you here. On our last coaching call, I saw Clem was eating some Nutella while we were on our call. Now, he said, though, it was from France or Europe or whatever, and it was the one time in the year. But that's just an example.
It was free. It was free.
I don't know if that improves your case here.
Definitely, bro. No wastage.
Actually, because you didn't go out of your way to buy it. All right. It's just an example. Guys, Kiara is an example of someone who embodies this in a great way. You can see her share it on her Instagram commonly. But you walking the walk looks like you being at the epitome of your best health as you can. You're not always going to be at the best. Shit's going to happen. But use yourself as an experiment. Use yourself to embody the beacon of light that your clients can look up to by having, look, I know what it's like. You see old videos of mine when my skin was all messed up. I had rosacea, I had eczema, I had gut issues, I was skinny. Like, I understand that some of you guys are really on your journey and I can honor that. But I want to hold you to a higher standard here, and that's by nourishing yourself with the food that will give you life and energy. And so we'll finish on this and then we'll continue on Tuesday. That's why I shovel cheese. Based off this list and what we've covered so far, can you guys make a commitment and experiment? Like, which foods will you be now increasing in your diet and how will you be increasing it from here on? And what's the per week, per day that you're going to improve from here? You guys can also voice it. Yeah. Simone, how many? Guys, try and be specific here. Like a Clem, you specific. Like kiwis, how many? What are you going to combine it with? Sardines. It's great, sardines. How many? The Brunswick brand does taste better, FYI. Great. The golden kiwis are the best. They're better than the green ones. Start with a can 3 times a week. Awesome. Rice cakes, good combination. Yeah, Branson, because we're in a surplus, we're going to pull on potatoes more as a greater carb source. You can put them predominantly around your training. Sweet potato is going to be more dense. So you don't need to consume as much volume. You're not as full. Little surplus hack. Liver, 150 grams a week. Great, Clem. That's raw liver, right? You're just going to cook it up. Definitely show us how you cook it.
Yep.
Anybody else? Kiara, is there any changes that you're even inspired, just as a little reflection, or changes that you've made recently?
I'm pretty locked in on my nutrients, honestly. But that's because I've been recovering from some things. I'm very diligent.
Yeah. That's great.
Like I could eat fish, but I'm too scared, so I will supplement.
That's okay. At least you're aware. Yeah, I'm saying, Branson, to focus on sweet potato. You can have a combination. I recommend a combination, but sweet potato, if you're getting full, will be denser. There's more calories per gram. On the next episode that we're going to be covering on Tuesday this is what it looks like, by the way. I'm going to be preparing for you guys a practical. I'll show you guys some food swaps, which I can show you on Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we're actually going to be designing a 7-day meal plan for one of your real clients. That's feasible. Like, obviously, what I showed you, not all your clients will be able to do that. Just gives you a direction. So we're going to work within your clients and we're going to build the meal plan. You can get feedback from me and Kiara Tuesday. That's what we're going to work on. More practicals. Happy? Happy. Any last thoughts or questions? Anything you want to share? Any feedback? Cinderton.
The fireworks being in Vietnam.
What?
I don't know if you just saw the fireworks you just had pop up, but that's.
Oh, I didn't even
You just
see.
did like
There's
some
actually
sort of the fireworks just came up.
Oh, I didn't even know. There's a fireworks thing tonight, I think, which is cool. Like a big show. I want to see if it. Nah, it's not working. I don't know.
I think it was like this one. Yeah. So, anyways.
You know what it is? I know what it is. It's an extension. It's a browser extension. Yeah. See you, Branson. I know your secrets. All right, guys. I put in the comments there, the sardines video, if you want some entertainment. Bonus points if you read the comments and get even more entertainment. Outside of fireworks. Anything else, guys? All good? Kiara and I, particularly Kiara, is preparing an exciting hormone presentation for you guys as well, which we're going to present next week. Stay tuned.